Hello, my name is Matthew Krause, and I'm a business systems consultant with Opal Business Solutions. And today I'll be showing you how to run a few financial reports, such as a balance sheet and income statement in Business Central. Now, as you can see, I am on the homepage of a company in Business Central. To look at some financial reports, you'll want to go to the universal search bar and you can type in the name of the report you're trying to run. Before we go straight to that, I would like to take a look at a list of all of our reports available to us. So if I type in financial reports or account schedules, either way will take us to the reports and analysis screen. If I maximize it, it'll show you all of the current financial reports that are available. Now, these are highly customizable and can be edited using versions of Report Builder and other software as well. So these are simply out of the box reports, but many of them can be adjusted and configured to your company's specific settings and as needed. Now, if I select Run Financial Report in the universal search bar, it'll allow me to select the financial report among all those ones I just shown. So in this example, we can look at a balance sheet. So let's look at a summarized balance sheet. And we can add any filters needed. So as you can see below, let me maximize this a bit. Here we go. They show you a bit of a preview of what the report will look like below. And depending on how many details in the rows there are, you would be able to see the full report once you export it. But in this screen, you're able to adjust any of these filters, and the data below will adjust as you add the filters. For example, I can add a date filter, and I can have it look as of the end of February. And that will adjust the below reports. Perhaps I could add a department filter, only looking at the production. It looks like all the assets for this company are under a different department filter. If I look under admin or sales. All right, so it looks like all of the assets, liabilities, and equities are being put under the sales department filter. But you can also see how that data below adjusted in real time as the department filters were being selected. Now, let's say this is what I wanted. You're able to export this at any time and print it. You can also create templates as well through Business Central, which allows you to, let's say you have a budget report that you run every month and you would like to keep it the same, you can form a template for that budget report, export the data out of Business Central into that budget, and then you could simply fill in the new budget numbers into that spreadsheet. So in this example, we could print this. We can also send to an Excel document as well, or a PDF. So they give you multiple options for printing and exporting the data. So in this instance, let's preview it and then we'll close it. So previewing looks a little bit different than how it might look when you export, depending on the type of format. But as you can see, it gives you, this is the summarized balance sheet, by the way. So it's giving us a few of the months, looks like the first 5 months, splitting it up simply by the total and the classification of the entry. So if I exit out of this, go back and select balance sheet detailed, I can then add that same department filter for sales. And then go back to printing, export, print, and preview. And you can see how it'll show now more of the details through the balance sheet. Now it'll show all the categories, but it only show amounts that are currently put into Business Central. So it looks like it showed all the liabilities in the first few pages, and then you can see the equity in the last few as totals. You can also look at a more of a line by line basis instead of just a account description, depending on what you need to run and what filters you would like to add. So that would be for the balance sheet. And if we look at the income statement, it's a very similar function. A lot of these financial reports, they function similarly in that you simply select them, add your filters, preview the data, and you're able to export it. And they can also be, their main reports can be edited to add additional fields if need be. And that's something that we can do to help with. Yeah, so let's preview this report, see what it looks like for our income statement. All right, we can see a little bit of revenue here, a little bit of cost of goods sold. We can see that how this is split. There was only a little bit of activity in the net income revenue side with a tiny bit of expenses in the cost of goods sold. Of course, this is a test company, so there's not going to be as much data, but a lot of these financial reports hold a lot more value the more data you put into your company. Now, I think that should cover all the necessary information we need to do for now. I guess one last thing is you can manually look over at columns and see how this shifts over to look at the different months in case you wish not to scroll with the scroll bar. But other than that, I believe that is everything else covered for the basics of running a financial report in Business Central, specifically of the income statement and the balance sheet. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time.